So, fellas, so it's Saturday finally. It's been a long week. Really didn't mess with the car much this week at all. You know, Tuesday night took the wife out for Valentine's. I think Tuesday. Anyway, we used to go Tuesday night or the night before Valentine's, because Valentine's is usually stupid crazy around the restaurants. So I just take her out Tuesday night, you know, and then we took her out to eat. We're leaving the restaurant, and then Brandon texts her. He's like, "Hey, Mike, you want to meet tomorrow night for dinner? I'm going to get done early." So we ended up going out to eat Wednesday night also. We met Brandon, and he brought her some flowers and little card and stuff. So she got her mom heart all filled up. And then last night I was at the chiropractor. The other night, Thursday night I think it was, looked at the tune from here, took out some fuel in the lower RPM, you know, idle area, added spark to it, and did a little something with the injector slope, just try to make it a little better, a little leaner at idle, because if you remember the last time was really rich at idle. And one other thing I fixed on Monday night, if you can hear that down here, that's the water pump running, the DC controller. When the key is on in run, it runs the water pump at 5%, and it runs the fan too. Of course, the fan's trying to turn, but it's been sitting outside. I had disconnected it from the controller, and I had the whole work sitting underneath the carport, but it kind of got wet apparently. And so the water pump and the fan shared the ground, and it got all corroded, so it wasn't working. So I fixed that. Had to take the harness all the way apart that I had put all together real neat and everything. So now I got to fix that too, but at least the water pump's running. And we'll see what the tune does. Like I said, it took a little bit of fuel out at idle, added spark to it. Oh, that ain't so good. Is that still running? Yeah, lost the fuel pump again. Well, mother, I know what's going on. That's the sleeve on the steering column. I can loosen that up and it'll work. Stand by. All right, back again. So what happened there, I started putting stuff back together, and initially when I had everything apart and it worked, I started putting it together, and every step I would take, I would turn the key on and make sure the pump come on. Well, when I put the sleeves on the steering column, initially, the pump didn't work anymore. So I said, there's a problem in here, because Mama didn't raise no fool. A little bit of troubleshooting, I saw that the long bolts, or the screws I used to hold the ignition switch to the column itself, were too long, and was letting the steering column sleeve kind of push down on it, and it pulled the switch away from the contacts just a little bit. So I put a shorter bolts in. I took these out and I put these in, and it seemed to fix it. So and that is these, if anybody wants to go to Lowe's and get them. So then I put it all back together, and I really didn't. This morning I secured the EFI harness that goes across the front of the firewall, and then I put that little plug, that boot that goes around or grommet that goes around the harness that goes through the firewall. I put that on. Didn't think anything of it, because I'm thinking I fixed the issue with the sleeve on the column. So now when I started it, and then it just died, I was like, something else is wrong. So I left the key on, I pulled the sleeves off this column again, and it still didn't come on. So then I went over there, I'm just going back through what I changed from the last time. And then I moved the harness where it comes through the firewall, and then the pump kicked on. I said, so okay. So now I know it's something over there. It's maybe one of the wires going to a ground or something like that isn't in the connector good. So I'm going to go back and check them. But just to give you a better sense about the engine running, maybe it'll work for a second or two, and then it might shut off again. We'll find out. Still a little rich, but I can work that. We can work that. So it's got 60 pounds at cold idle. And like I said, I still got plenty of other tuning tweaks I can do. I just got to look because the stock cam is advanced 4 degrees. It's going to have a little lower vacuum. I'll probably have to take the quarter horse out of one of the other cars and put it in here and data log it a little bit. A couple things I'm going to try to do tomorrow is get the drive shaft safe loop in and fix the e-brake cables. I got them reversed on the SN car. The one going to the, I think it's passenger side, it's about 2 inches longer than the one on the driver's side. I forgot about that when I put them in, and they're reversed. So now that little I don't know what it is, clevis or whatever, holds the e-brake cables up there. It's all cattywampus because they're not pulling equally. And then maybe bleed the brakes tomorrow. It's been raining, it's like 55 degrees out, so what I'll probably do is monkey with this a little bit, try to find out where the issue is, and then I'm going to put Kyle's heads together. I got a set of his ported Explorers that I did a while back. They're the twins to what's on Rodney's the Brain. I'm going to put those together for him. I got the springs and hardware, all that stuff from Ed at Flowtech Induction. And I'll probably do a little video of that as well. So the plan is, if the weather cooperates, take the red car to the track next Sunday, because I've only been up there, I think I went up there twice last year, which is really bad. And take Kyle's heads up with him, and I plan to take my stiff walls and my old drag slicks, the standard, bias ply slicks, and run them, do a little comparison back to back. I know I'm really out of practice, so I'm not going to be anywhere as consistent as I should be, but at least I'll get a comparison between the two, because the regular bias ply slicks are 8 pounds a piece lighter than the stiff walls. And when I ran the bias plies, I did a bunch of stuff to the car and then ran it again. The only change was the different tires too. And I ran the same as before when I should have ran faster. So I want to compare the two, and hopefully we can do that next Sunday. So in the meantime, I just want to show you, share my L's along with the W's, and tell you it's running a little better than it was before, but it's still kind of rich. So I got to work on that. But we'll get her dialed in. Appreciate y'all watching. Later. All right, guys. So this is where I was hearing noises, or not noises, when I squeezed the wires here, when it was all taped up. The fuel pump would click on and off. The ignition would click. It's not doing it now that I've got it unwrapped, but maybe pull the tape off there. This is one of those press crimps like Ford is fond of doing, where they, or maybe they used to, but they got several red wires, and I had capped these two because I think, if memory serves, they went to the tab and the tad solenoids that are usually over here, because I got rid of that stuff. I don't need them anymore. So I had a piece of heat shrink on there. I guess I forgot to heat them up and shrink them down. But I'm going to peel this old tape off right here and make sure everything's hunky-dory in there, then retape it up, keep it separated nice, and then put some more tape on that thing. Not sure what that's for. I'll have to check it out. But that's the issue right there, I think. So, of course, I can't get it to do it now that it's unwrapped. I'll check these wires, make sure nothing's, insulation ain't knocked off of somewhat, and make sure everything's good before I tape it back up. I'm kind of glad I found it now here in the garage versus out along the highway at night, because that would suck. And I know some guys are like, well, that's EFI life. Nah. Carbureted cars have wires too, just a whole lot bunch less. So I'm going to get at this. I kept trying to gravitate towards getting Kyle's heads worked on, but I kept coming back to this thing. Kind of bugging me why it was doing it. So appreciate y'all. We'll put some more stuff on the next clip when I get some stuff done this week. Later. Oh, and that noise is the water pump, and then the fan. Fan's getting a little bit of juice to it, but not enough to really spin it because it hadn't been running a long time. So it's trying to go, but it just needs to be run a little more. Like I said, when the ignition's on, water pump turns at 5% and the fan turns at 5%. So it seems to be working a little better now. Just needed to get some of the corrosion off the brushes or something. Like I said, it got probably wet a few times outside. And that is a handy feature to have at the track when you want to cool down quick, because it does circulate the water and run a little bit of air through the fan too. That is a DC controller. You can buy different kinds, some that run just the electric fan, some that run the electric fan and a water pump. All kinds of different doodads on there. All right, catch you next time, guys.